Okay, it's about 1 minute before the bottom of the hour, and the half-hour robots are going to come in here. All this algorithmic trading is going to kick in about now. So I got filled on some of these tickets that were lingering in here, and this bank here lasts 4 hours. So if we take another spike down here, I'm going to buy more down there. And I got filled on this spike down here. Kind of a nifty, I suppose if you had a moving average running on this thing, you could get a top bottom out of your moving average about right here. This big pivot. I put it on close and just look for the major turn here. It's going to be like right there. And then if you did it on a trend line, you could say that if in the next 4 hours, if you could close down here like this, you could get a real nice double top, become a bottom right here. British pound. So British pound's definitely a squirrely mess. All over the map here. Take a look at this. Try to cue this thing up. Okay, so just kind of approaching this from the this one broker. Can't see the other ones. Coming in this great buy zone. If we could bounce, come off this double bottom top, and then just just looking at this clean line here, you can always fill in the blank later with a bunch of highfalutin stuff. Just look for the major crossovers on this British pound, and then just have to sit it out. Now, I think if we did plunge down here, it'd be a great scalp, like crazy, just crazy scalp. And then same thing, some story here with this big drama. What's going to happen to the euro? I'm certainly buying down here. I'm betting the ranch down in here. This is a great scalping bank here, just like these sweeps through here. These are like 60 pip sweep. This one's 150 pips there. I mean, it's, got 70 pips deep here. Be buying it. But for right now, I'll just buy a little bit. Scalped a little bit on this bounce. Then I start to get filled here. Now I'm about looking to just buy pretty heavy right here, just because of these lines here. These this double top over here is pretty interesting. Right there. That's a major structure point, and then under here, right underneath this, last chance to board the train for that price pulse. And if you do the classic projection, take it there, and you're cut through this double top to here. So this is a fractal, and then if you did the down fractal, you'd say it was this piece here, like this. Say this is the crossover. Pick anything, Fibonacci, whatever makes you feel like you're not going to get hurt. So, and then you can hang it off of something, for price. Hang it off a major. Doesn't matter. Just look at this double top here. Yeah, you can build a cage that it could live in here, and then this thing's really, the harder that sells off, the more I'm buying. So that means that this buy down here is just going to be an amazing entry right here. So I want to target my entries down here, and then just play this complete retracement. Of course, it could collapse like that, but this is a major, this number here, 135. I mean, most people can get their brain around that. So for the moment, I'm just buying the spikes on this stuff, and same with the Australian dollar. If it can tank through this, but it looks like it's actually starting to firm up after being obliterated through this beautiful scalp. If you bought here, even say you bought right here on this new low, and then you got 100% retracement plus another 60 or whatever that total comes out to, you actually higher. And then if you were selling into that on the top bottom theory, you would be getting in with your pendings. You got a sell limit here, and when the candle comes up, it fills you on your sell limit, and then you just put a master stop up here, and then look for a I guess you can't put a stop on close, so that's the problem. People want to see the wick because they want to see, well, would I get filled on that? So that's the question, would you get filled on that? So all your order placements are on say down here, and this is typically a doji or something, these little notches, or it's a hammer. But let's see if I put a line in here. So here, and then you turn the candle on and see, well, you got 2 spikes below that, and then actually 5 spikes below that round handle. I mean, you don't get a lot of shaved candles. They really don't exist too much. I mean, on the 1 hour chart they do, I guess. 4 hour brokers, I've seen them sheared off right at the top of 4 hours. It's just amazing how this market can turn on a dime like that. So, always looking at the other brokers for the other get it 1 hour ahead of the crowd on the pattern. Well, not so much ahead of the crowd, I guess you're just seeing it form because you're looking at it from a different angle. Like if you were going down a street and you look down 90 degrees the other way, you would have a whole different view of the neighborhood. So it's definitely, on a 4 hour chart, it's a problem. If you're on one broker, you're going to miss maybe some good trades because if you got two shaved candles on a 4 hour chart on a broker, I mean, that's going to be a pretty amazing entry for scalping. But yeah, this thing has to consolidate into this apex here, but it's not like it's not tradable through this. Just nice, perfect pivot here that you can buy at that and sell off of it, or buy way deep below it. So yeah, I just have to come back to it. Let's see, this is the euro candles, and let's see, where's got the big picture here. I suppose consider this to be the crossover point right here. This is your argument for buying here, because you can come over this this key point here. The next key point, if that doesn't hold, be a nice bounce, would be off of these this crossover point here, where this top and then became a bottom, and then you got a baby top bottom here, and then it just off to the races. Just right there at the round handle, 136. Amazing, But yeah, it's pretty dumb. So if you have the patience to wait, but I don't, so I'm going to buy 20 pips deep and 30 minutes here. So in 30 minutes, if we can get to here, I get in. And so by the top of the hour, if it can spike down there for a moment into this amazing top here, then I'm going to get in. Because it's like a triple top here on the, like I said, just this one broker though. Other brokers would have a different pivot, and then it'll just be a killer entry at 36, and then ride it up for 50 pips out of that into this bottom, which may become a new top if we're going to go down a stairway that's steeper than that. Like a stairway ends up looking like this. Yeah, that's gonna be some kind of crazy spike right down in there, real hard. Or it's just, this is it, we're stalling out in here, and in about 4 hours, so one more candle down possibly, you're gonna come in a New York session and bounce hard off of this round handle, zoom up here, cash out, and then just play these spikes like these things, where it's just, I mean, crazy amount of money in a very short period of time. Okay, I'm just gonna pause it. I think there's some news coming out here in about 15 minutes, so this pre-news spike is always a real nice scalp, because they have to get out of these positions before the news, because they don't want to be on the wrong side in case the news is a certain way. So this 15-minute window here kind of is a nice easy scalp up into this bottom on that wick. So just coming in here, piercing into this clothesline. So we went below this line, and that was the fill right at this pivot. And so this price is, like I said, just on this broker. So you got this 3 touches on that line, and then if you wanted to go for the deeper, where you'd really load the wagon with tickets, would be like right here, because this top, and then so right here you'd have a ticket on every, basically you're placing a ticket on every pivot, at least, if not more. Of course, for my appetite, you're getting in pretty heavy right there, and then then you don't have any more tickets till about here. You start putting in tickets pretty hefty here, and then here, because you don't want to, your grid can't be linear, and unless the sizing is, if you have algorithmic sizing in there, or logarithmic sizing in your script. So in here you would buy heavy, and certainly scalp this window. So the scenario built into your script is basically your trade plan. So you're going to have a dense, so you have a scalp bank that's, here's, let's take this crap off here. Okay, if you had a scalp bank that was 100 pips deep, and it lasted 4 hours, so it started here, you started buying from here all the way to here, with a stop down here, and just walk away from it. Nothing you can do about it. I mean, if it does come down here, you definitely want to buy, and I would buy 50 pips deep. So this would be like a 4 hour. Right now I could see it, if it could get down here in 4 hours. In other words, the Dow Jones opens, and this spikes down and hits that, and doesn't hit that. That's a nice scalp bank in there. So yeah, just waiting for the top of the hour, I guess.